Style takes too long. I can't fit anything. I have nothing in this closet. Oh, I'll just stay home. I need to purge my closet. Oh, but not that dress. Yo, Taylor here. If you ever thought to say one of these phrases, then this show is for you. Join me at the Style Table, where we'll have candid and fun conversations about real women's style issues and wardrobe dilemmas. We will discuss solutions and ideas that will give you a big sigh of relief. You'll learn ways to save money, make money, and enrich the lives of others with the clothes in your closet. We're going to take the stress out of your style. Hey everybody, it is Yo on the Go back here at the Style Table on OurTV.network Marketplace. Today's show is simply about how to show up on Zoom. Living over the past couple years in Zoom meetings for every aspect from our lives, from work to parties to church, conferences, and even galas. You name it, we've created our virtual lives around it. It seems like our world has opened, closed, canceled, repeat. So we have to be prepared for Zoom and other platforms as a part of our foreseeable future. Today, my co-hosts are Kristyn Soto. She is the Director of Community Partnerships at Rock Recovery, and Morgan Fletcher, Internal Control Analyst for the Federal Reserve Board. Today, we're going to get a perspective on how to Zoom from two very different organizational cultures. We're going to show pictures of how to show up and how not to show up after the break. But right now, we're going to get started with Morgan Fletcher. Morgan, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be here.
So what we want to hear from you from the government side, which is a little bit more uptight.
It is.
So, right. How do you show up? We'll start out with that. How do you show up?
That's a really good question. So yeah, we were kind of all thrust into this environment at the beginning of COVID. We weren't working from home. I was working from home every now and then, but we had our set telework days, our remote work from home days. And we kind of just knew, that we wouldn't necessarily have to be on camera for those because we were all home. None of us were in the office. So it's kind of just a standard approach. But now that we're completely home all the time, there is more of a standard and a consistency that we have to follow. Sometimes, we have the surprise, like, hey, would everyone mind turning their camera on? And we're not necessarily prepared. So my kind of rule of thumb is just, of course, looking at the audience list, looking at the meeting invite, seeing who might show up to that meeting. If it's an internal team meeting, we're a little bit more relaxed in my team. There's only about 4 of us. So we show up, sometimes in sweats. Sometimes people have their cameras on, some people don't. So we kind of have that kind of more comfortable approach to things. But say if a senior leader ends up being in the meeting and they're even just an optional attendee on the invite, there's a chance that they could show up. You kind of need to dress the part just in case. And I'm not saying put a full face of makeup on. That's, I don't like doing that. I'm wearing more makeup than I have in months, honestly, today for this special occasion. But I honestly, I wear glasses pretty much on a daily basis. So I throw those on, put my hair in a nice little bun. Doesn't have to be anything too cute. And as long as on the top, I'm showing, an executive presence, I'm wearing a shirt like I am today, not even a blazer sometimes, just a nicer shirt, that's good to go. You just really have to know your audience, and that's what it comes down to. So again, that optional attendee is my really rule of thumb. If they might show up, just the part. And, if it's more internal and relaxed, then you can kind of keep it a little bit chiller, but you just have to know your audience.
Do you feel like this is a tip? What are you noticing? Do you feel like older employees tend to show up more starched and are younger?
Yeah.
Do you feel like you need to kind of give a little word or a little tip or advice to our younger audience?
That is such a good question, because now that I'm thinking about that question, a trend I'm seeing is the people that are kind of almost out the door, the retirees, they don't care. They're just kind of showing up and whatever. Now that I'm thinking about it, so you kind of would assume they would kind of come in the suit and tie that they're used to wearing in the office. But I think those people are just kind of riding it out and they just couldn't care less anymore. But I would say the middle management, the ones who still have a little bit more to prove, they're the ones showing up a bit. And I do feel like it's my younger millennial Gen Zer crowd. We need to step it up a bit and not show up in sweats or, too too relaxed or comfortable of attire. And another thing, this isn't necessarily about dress, but I do notice that sometimes our younger folks are on their phones and stuff. And when you're on camera, you got to remember you should be acting like you do when you're in the office. So, you can't just make it like just because you're behind the screen doesn't mean you can't. You have to, you need to still show your executive presence and make it seem like you're there in person.
Or at least fake it.
Or at least fake it. Like if you're there, swipe a little to the side. Don't have it in front of it because they can still see. I think people forget sometimes with their cameras on. So just word of advice there.
Okay. So ladies, I'm going to ask Kristyn too about this. Because we're going to talk to Kristyn on the next half, because she's got a whole bunch. She's going to talk to us about how you Zoom a whole gala, how she created a whole gala Zoom. So do you all feel as millennials that the Gen Zers, do you feel like people are like pushing the envelope? Listen, we're going to do this casually, more and more. We're going to push. You can even see in corporate America, everybody is like starting to become more and more relaxed. Casual Fridays are like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So the younger generations are pushing like, listen, we're not going there. We're not showing up on camera with a shirt and a tie. We've got kids screaming in the background. And don't you guys feel like people are used to kids running in on the Zoom calls,
and dogs barking, or getting a DoorDash delivery?
Right.
It's just like at this point, it's commonplace. Yeah.
Now, Kristyn, your environment is more casual. Do you feel like because it's a small nonprofit?
Yes, absolutely. So I work with, as you said, a small nonprofit. There's 3 of us on the team. We are very comfortable with one another. So I would say our internal meetings, we definitely have some of those issues that you shared, Morgan. But as far as some of the other things we do, like we'll have presentations. We do a lot of community education events around mental health in particular, since that's what our nonprofit focuses on. And so there are times where we need to step it up. And like you said, there needs to be a standard.
Yes.
One thing I've noticed a lot lately is like people taking calls from their bed. And it's just, I've seen a lot of that.
Such a bad look.
It's not a good look. Even if you don't have an office space, because I know not everyone is able to have their own office space, but like sit at the kitchen table, at least blur the background if you're going to be on the bed, something
all
like
those
that.
Take your laptop and sit on the floor if you have to, anything but, in your bed. Because think about it, ladies, if you want to show up how you want to present yourself, and if you sometimes you have outside clients that'll come in. That you'll have meetings with clients that you want to present, your best foot forward. So you have to step it up, and it's easy to get into that relaxing kind of feel of. I mean, I'm guilty of it too. I mean, sometimes it's missed opportunities. Now, everybody, when we come back, we're going to see pictures of how to show up and how not to show up as soon as we come back from the break. And also we're going to have a few little lighting tips and camera tips so you look your best too. Also, we're going to talk with Kristyn about how she planned a gala, a whole virtual gala, event that was wonderful. We had so much fun at that event. So we will see you when we come back from the break. And remember, you're right here on our TV network marketplace shopping. You can shop right here for your new Zoom gear, from cameras to audio to, of course, style, makeup, all of those things you can shop right here on our TV network marketplace shopping. All right. So ladies, what do you want to tell anybody really quick about before we go on the break? Any tips, quick millennial tips?
Quick millennial tips. Yeah, again, like I said, just dress for your audience. You have to just keep it. You really have to just know, you have to, at least common denominator is what I would say. And if that one executive might show up, dress for him.
Yeah. And I think the other thing is just find clothes that feel empowering and comfortable.
Yes.
Just because you're dressing up doesn't mean you don't want to be uncomfortable. So find your go-to outfit. That's like, you have your outfit for your presentations, your outfit for your big meetings, and just make sure that you're comfortable. Make sure you feel good.
Okay. See you when we come back. I have nothing in this closet. Oh, I'll just stay home. I need to purge my closet. Oh, but not that dress. Yo, Taylor here. If you ever thought to say one of these phrases, then this show is for you. Join me at the style table where we'll have candid and fun conversations about real women's style issues and wardrobe dilemmas. We will discuss solutions and ideas that will give you a big sigh of relief. You'll learn ways to save money, make money, and enrich the lives of others with the clothes in your closet. We're going to take the stress out of your style. Hey everyone, we are back with more chat with Kristyn and Morgan about how to show up correctly on Zoom. It really isn't that hard, you guys. They said wear something simple, clean, easy, comfortable. It doesn't take a lot to look great on a Zoom call. So we're going to look at some pictures right now, some photographs of what not to do. Like they mentioned, don't do a Zoom call in your bed. Don't just... everything about it says that you're tired and that you're not ready. So you never know who's the executive that might show up, the person that you might be looking for your bonus check from or your promotion, right, ladies?
That's so true. Yeah.
How many times have you seen people come up in the bedroom?
I've never seen that, but I don't doubt that it happens. I mean, the fact that you've seen it, Chris, is just crazy. But I think something to say is you can feel comfy and like you're still in bed on the bottom. The whole motto where, business on top, party at the bottom. That can work. Like, I'm wearing leggings right now, very comfortable, and gym shoes. I'm wearing sneakers. But up top, I look a little bit more professional. I'm not a huge blazer girl. So I think, if you want to keep it casual but still feel like you're looking professional, you can rock a dress top like this. So yeah, it's all about comfort. So we're not saying don't be comfortable, but then again, there is something to say about getting a little pep in your step. If that means like wearing heels with your sweats, do that. I have a coworker who loves wearing red lipstick that just makes her she'll be in sweats, but red lipstick on a Zoom call. And if that's what makes her feel like she's got a little bit more pep and confidence that day talking to different people in a meeting, then do that. But it's all about comfort.
And Kristyn, you mentioned about like sometimes you like going into the office just because you want to feel
So I work from home most of the time, but one day a week I'll go into the office, and it's nice because I'm like, oh yeah, I'm a human. I can interact with other humans. I can get dressed in the morning and do my hair and put on a splash of makeup. So
exactly.
So ladies, do you feel like we have some pictures of women sitting fully dressed up on their computers, doing work, doing Zoom calls, and they're fully dressed. You feel like sometimes maybe if you put on a full outfit every now and then, you will feel like more professional, like you're like more engaged with delivering the information?
Absolutely. Yeah, like Kristyn said, you want to feel like a human sometimes.
Yeah.
When you're just, especially me when I'm not on camera a lot of times, and I'm just in sweats, hair looking crazy. Sometimes I do kind of just want to be able to feel like that again and feel like I don't miss the commute, but feel like I kind of have that routine back in place of when I was in the office, because it does help get some kind of pep in your step. So.
Yeah. And I think it really varies from person to person, but I do know, especially with presentations for me, that's the big one.
Yes.
When I'm presenting, when I'm doing an educational event, it's just, if I'm dressed and I feel good, like, I'm like, oh yeah, I know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm saying. I can do this. So it's really a confidence boost.
Yeah. So that's very empowering. And these are just simple things. Now let's talk about some of the problems that you might have. For example, lighting and cameras. I remember just trying to figure out, why am I so hazy? And we're going around changing all the lighting, and And it turned out I just needed to clean my camera off.
Yeah.
Really?
That's
I spent all that
That's a big
time.
one,
I
right?
was
That's where you
like,
start.
wow. So it's things like that. And then your background, when we were saying you don't want your bedroom to be your background.
Yeah.
And so how do you guys feel about those virtual backgrounds?
They're helpful. I don't use them much, honestly. Sometimes people, look like they're on an exotic vacation.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't know if they do that, but I think it's more professional when you have the blurred background or the office space background. But it's whatever you're comfortable with. So I like them, but especially if you have a cluttered background. If you have roommates, for instance, it's nice to put those on. But
yeah, I'm a fan of the blurred background. The other one's not so much. And sometimes they can cut your head off in weird places.
Yes, you move a little bit and you're like, where did she go? Yeah.
But the blur is nice. I think that's blurred. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So those are some background tips. And real quick, what colors do you guys have? Like, I typically, when I'm doing my consulting meetings via Zoom, I have like a uniform. And it's always like something in black. I just feel like super, like, I don't know, superwoman. It's my go-to thing. Do you have your go-to power color or power type of style that you like to wear for?
That is a good question. A color, not so much. I think bright. I like bright. Like I've got the yellow top, but then, I'll simplify it with the blazer too much. So it's not like too in your face. But yeah, I like bright colors, something that's a little bit fun. Yeah. And then I'll do neutral with the makeup.
Yeah, balance.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say I like neutral colors, but I'm also a fan of the black. If I learned anything from Kris Jenner and Steve Jobs, is that black is that power color.
Yeah. Thank you.
Looks good on everybody,
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely. And now we're going to switch it up a little bit. We're going to talk to Kristyn about this big gala that she has coming up. The year before last, it was in person. It was gorgeous. I was there. We were all glammed up. It was fabulous. With COVID, they had to do a quick switch and do it virtually. So that was a big job.
Yes, it was. It was very, very different from the in-person experience. And I guess a little background on my nonprofit. So I work for a nonprofit called Rock Recovery, and we provide clinical treatment and support groups for people who are struggling with eating disorders. And we do a lot of education around mental health. And so every year we do this big benefit dinner where we raise funds for our program so that we're able to serve more people who are in need of support. And so, like you said, in 2020, we had this beautiful event right before the world shut down, and it really saved us as an organization to be able to get those funds in. And then in 2021, we had to do a virtual event, which the nightmares that I had about doing that, oh my gosh, I lost so much sleep. But it actually turned out to be really, really fun. We had breakout groups, which were like our tables, and even to the point where the event had been over for about an hour, and we finally had to kick people out and say, "Hey, thank you so much."
It was
this group.
Yeah.
But we had to say, "All right, it's time to go home." And it ended up being a really cool experience, and we told our guests, this is still a gala. We want you to have fun. Come dressed up. Wear your best. Treat it as if you were right at the event in person.
Yeah.
And so this year, the event is going to be Saturday, March 19th, and it'll be hybrid. So we've got in-person options and then virtual options so that everyone can attend no matter their comfort level or their safety level as well. So
that's amazing.
Yeah. So once again, switching it up a little bit, trying something new, but it'll be fun to get dressed up. And then again, we're inviting our people who are live streaming with us, like wear your best, wear your black, wear your evening gown, wear whatever you want to just feel comfortable and really be able to enjoy the event.
And like you're a part of it.
Yeah.
Like you're a part of the event.
Yeah.
Yeah. And speaking of like these events that like you go to these conferences, I've been going to these conferences where they have breakout groups where you can network within these meetings. And that's another reason you want to show up, because I even had a missed opportunity to network because I said, oh, let me just see what this is about. And there was a breakout session and I wasn't ready to break out. So you want to make sure you are ready to break out and be a part and network and look like you won an opportunity. I always say, show up like you want an opportunity. So don't take things for granted. And it doesn't. I mean, it just happened to me. So it can happen, but just try to, rule of thumb, make sure that you're dressed and ready for and look like you want an opportunity. Don't do your Zoom call in bed. Don't do your Zoom call dressed like you're ready for bed, because everything about this says, I'm tired. I don't want an opportunity. I'm too tired for you. I'm too tired to be interested. So you want to present yourself in a way that is empowering, and you'll feel better. Like the lady said, you will feel better about how you look, how you feel, and the energy that you're presenting. And it kind of, you feel like when other people show up ready to go, does it pick you up as well?
Oh, absolutely. And you brought up such a good point about the conferences, because I've been in that situation too, where I'm like, wait, why is everyone else's camera on and mine's not? Oh my God, this is so good. Like, now I can't turn it on. So you have to be in that mindset, like, okay, if I'm attending this big conference and I want opportunities and want to be able to network, I should come ready too. So I've been in the same boat. So yeah, definitely, it shows me that these women, especially when they're looking fly, they got their makeup done. I'm like, oh gosh, you guys still look like that during these times? Like, yes, it's a confidence booster, and it just makes me want to join the club. Honestly.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Do you feel like people talk to you more, or feel like they ask you more, or more interested when you show up to these meetings and you look more prepared?
Yeah. And honestly, I'm more willing to engage when I come prepared, because, I feel like, okay, I'm ready to network. I'm ready to engage with people. And like you said, it really is a mental health thing at the end of the day. These past couple of years have been so difficult for so many people for a variety of reasons.
True.
And it really plays into dressing in a way that makes you feel good and you look good. It just makes you feel better overall. And so I know when I come to meetings and I'm dressed in my favorite outfit and I see other people are ready to go, it feels good. I feel like I'm more productive. I can get more things done.
Yes.
It just creates a different environment.
Right.
Yeah.
So you guys, you've heard it right here. If you guys have any tips, or share them with others. This is a real quick thing. How would you address a coworker? We all have those coworkers that show up, that might look a little like want to tighten that up, or how do you kind of, or do you say anything, or how do you address that? Especially if you have someone who you are managing. How do you express to them, like, hey, you might want to take, I'm glad you're a Michigan fan, but
that's such a good point, because honestly, there aren't policies in place for these types of things, since we're still in this new environment. And you do have to be careful, though. Something I did learn before COVID, before we had all of these protocols when it came to Zoom meetings and whatnot, I did actually have a male manager, not to me, but approach a woman about her not coming looking professional to some meetings. And he actually got a bit of a slap on the wrist for that, and said, it's, it gets hairy eventually. So I think it was like a colleague, like a friend, like it's one of your work girls, you can pull them aside and, be like, hey, what's going on? I think it'd be a better look for you. But I do know that it's a tough place to straddle. It's a very thin line when it comes to, really approaching somebody about an issue like that. So I'm curious to see how companies react, honestly.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah. And I think to what you just said, it really, if you have someone who's coming and they're not presenting what might be their best, or it really would be more of a concern of like, are you okay?
Exactly.
And with this virtual world, it's so important that we're checking in on one another and checking in on just our health and making sure that everybody's doing okay, because it's hard out here.
It's so hard out here. It all comes back to the mental, like Kristyn said. That's so true.
Yeah.
It's all about mental health. And there's usually a root to it if you see that person not performing at their best. So that's true.
All right, that's all for today. And remember, again, you're already here on our TV network, Shopping Marketplace. Get your shop on right here. You don't have to go anywhere. Just hit the button at the bottom of your TV screen and keep it moving and get all your Zoom gear. And of course, you can reach me at any time at the site. Well, not any time, but a lot of times at thestyletable.com. Also here on OurTV.network Marketplace, you can peek me out at IG, at Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn to help you. I want to help you take the stress out of your style. Just, hit me up. We got a 30-minute consultation. We will laugh, talk, and we will figure out a strategy that will suit your needs. Everybody have a great super fantastic day.
Style takes too long. I can't fit anything. I have not